All right, let's dive right into this so-called survival manual. We're going to explore a really powerful idea today, one that completely reframes everything you might be going through. What if life's challenges aren't just random, meaningless chaos? What if it's all part of a curriculum? Well, welcome to Soul School.
You ever get that feeling, like you've been dropped into this super high-stakes game with a body, a mind that never stops racing, and all this pressure, but nobody ever bothered to give you the rule book? Yeah. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And that feeling is exactly why we're digging into this.
So here it is, the core concept from the source material. The premise is actually pretty simple. What if Earth isn't just some rock we're trying to survive on? What if it's a classroom, and you're not just some random person, but a student, officially enrolled in Soul School?
So think of this as our syllabus for today. First, we're going to meet your inner team. Yeah, you have one. Then we'll get to know the opposition. After that, we'll talk about your spiritual bank account, learn some defense tactics, and wrap it all up with the single most important choice you have to make.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about your support system, because the biggest secret to getting through Soul School is knowing you are absolutely not going it alone. You come fully equipped with a built-in, 3-part inner team that's basically designed to help you win.
So who's on this team exactly? Well, it's made up of 3 incredibly powerful parts of you: your Causal Presence, your Crystic Conscience, and your Divine Soul. Let's break down what each of them actually does. First up, you've got your Causal Presence. I want you to picture this as your own personal sun, this brilliant sphere of light that's always shining right above you. This is your infinite power plant, and it's always, always ready to send you all the energy, all the wisdom, and all the love you could possibly need. Next on the team is the Crystic Conscience. So if your Causal Presence is the giant power plant, think of this part as the master electrician. This is that calm, steady voice of your intuition. It's your inner coach, and its job is to take all that infinite energy and translate it into practical, gut-feeling advice you can actually use day to day.
And finally, there's the Divine Soul. And guess what? That's you. You're the student in the classroom, the pilot in the cockpit who's learning to fly. You're the part that's down here on Earth to experience it all, to learn, to make mistakes, to feel everything, and ultimately to choose to grow from it.
Okay, so you've met your team. But every good school story has a challenge, right? You need to know what's working against you, and in this case, it's not just a tough final exam, it's a bit more organized than that. The source material gives this opposition a name: the conglomerate. Now, it's described as this group of ancient beings, and their whole agenda, their entire goal, is to stop progress. And they do that by targeting the light and the potential of young people, trying to keep them from realizing their power and building a better world.
So how do they do it? What's their playbook? Well, the manual points to 3 main strategies. First, what it calls vampirism of light, basically draining your energy through toxic drama and addictions. Second is the noise barrage. The endless scrolling, notifications, and content designed to drown out your inner coach. And third, the identity trap, convincing you that your online persona is who you really are.
And really, this is the tug of war at the heart of Soul School. It's that simple. Your inner team is constantly pulling you toward growth, connection, and more light. And the opposition? They're engineering the exact opposite: stagnation, disconnection, and draining that light. This brings us to a super important concept: your spiritual bank account. Because in Soul School, money, followers, none of that is the real currency. The only thing that truly matters is your energy. And how you manage it changes everything.
So, think about it like this. Every single morning, no exceptions, your Causal Presence, that personal power plant we talked about, makes a fresh deposit of energy, of light, into your account. This is your daily allowance, and it's meant to be spent on your creativity, on kindness, on learning, on your mission.
So the big question is, what are you doing with that allowance? This table lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got your expenses, the spiritual drains, like mindless scrolling or getting sucked into toxic arguments. But on the right, you have your investments, things that build your spiritual wealth, like just taking 10 minutes of silence or helping someone out. Every choice you make is either a withdrawal or a deposit.
Now that we get the economics of it, let's talk defense. How do you actually protect your account from getting hacked or drained? How do you plug those leaks?
According to the manual, your first line of defense is your aura. And the best way to think about it is as a protective suit, right? Just like an astronaut needs a suit to survive in space, your soul needs an aura to shield it from all the negativity and spiritual pollution of the world. A strong aura literally filters that stuff out.
And here's the practical part. The manual gives you a simple 3-step routine for keeping that suit in good shape. It's like daily spiritual hygiene. First, you learn to seal your aura to prevent leaks. Then you learn how to actively block any bad vibes coming your way. And finally, you get a tool to repair any damage that might get through. These are your essential defensive moves.
So all of this, your inner team, the opposition, how you spend your energy, your defenses, it all leads to one final and honestly the most important takeaway of all. It boils down to a fundamental choice that you get to make every single day.
And here's the choice. Are you going to be a human viewer or a human doer? The viewer is passive. They're just a spectator, watching life happen, letting their energy get siphoned off by distractions. The doer, on the other hand, is an active participant. They take control of their energy and use it to build the life they're actually here to live.
In the end, this quote from the handbook really says it all. The game, the classroom, all the ups and downs, they all serve one single purpose: the ongoing evolution of your soul. That's it. That's the whole point of being here.
So, if you're the pilot in training and this life is your cockpit, the only question left, the one this whole manual leaves you with, is this: where are you going to fly?